Okay.
Now, a good way to work on memorizing this chord progression plus build chordal ear training is to play the track and call out chords as you're listening to it.
Okay.
A minor 7, D7, G major 7, C major 7, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, B7, E minor 7, E minor 7, A minor 7, D7. Right?
Okay.
That's a good way to do it. One of the big reasons for memorizing this chord progression is that it's going to enable you to work or allow you to work in composing these bass lines while looking at your fingerboard and staying really visually focused there, right?
Okay.
Rather than being distracted by the chart.
Okay.
Plus, it's also good at it's important, as I'm sure you know from your playing experience, to learn chord progressions quickly,
Right.
right? So, I mean, practicing doing that is going to be a good thing for a lot of different reasons.
Okay.
But for our immediate purposes, for it to enable you to just stay focused on your neck as you do these triads and compose them, and also compose them on the spot, actually improvising, because all improvising is composing fast,
Right.
right? So
Right.
in any case, getting the chord progression memorized, number one. Secondly, we want to work in finding the possibilities, because we want to limit our choices to the first 5 frets, open string through the first 5 frets. So, 6 frets out of bound.
Okay.
And the reason we're doing this is it's going to force you to use all the permutations in order to come up with variety in your lines. And we're going to open up the next shortly, but for right now, I want you to just stay in the first 5 frets.
Okay.
But you can use open strings too.
Okay.
All right, so the next thing to do is to go through and kind of do a recon on it, and see what possibilities of sections and positions you have for each chord.
Okay.
Right, and be able to identify them. For example, in the A minor, I can say, okay, well, I've got a left side position, minor triad, 1 flat 3 5 flat 3 1 5 flat 3 5, and that includes this inversion, right?
Right.
I've got a section 2 left side position, 1 flat 3 5 flat 3 1 5 flat 3 5. I've got a section 1 right side position, and this would be starting on the open string, 1 flat 3 5 flat 3 1 5 flat 3 5. Now that sounds exactly like the first one I did because they're the exact same pitches. However, they do involve 2 different positions.
Right.
Right? Now I also have a section 3, 1 flat 3 5 flat 3 1 5 flat 3 5. That's a right side position, section 3.
Okay.
I have a left side position, center position, section 3. 1 flat 3 5 flat 3 1 5 flat 3 5. I have a right side position, section 1, starting on the 2nd fret of the G string. 1 flat 3 5 flat 3 1 5 flat 3 5. I have a section 3, starting on the 2nd fret of the G string. 1 flat 3 5 flat 3 1 5 flat 3 5. So I've got all these different ways to configure this triads in the format that we've laid out with using the 1 3 5 3 and 1 5 3 5 combination.
So you want me only to do this in triads?
All right. So I'm gonna start with A minor, and what I do is I say, okay, you don't have to actually. Well, you should be able to know. You should know what position and section you're in. So I'm gonna do a left side position, section 1. Start off there. 1 flat 3 5 flat 3. Now I've used up the first measure of A minor with 4 notes, right? So now I've got to pick the root note of the next chord. Now some rules about what our choices here. The first beat is going to be the root notes. For now, we're going to have a temporary rule in place that the first beat of each new chord has to be a 1.
Okay.
All right. Now that rule will change later, but for right now it's in place.
Right.
Right. So that means that I've got to pick a D now. The next rule is going to be that we have to pick the root note as close to the fourth beat note of the preceding chord as possible.
Okay.
All right, so if I go 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, my closest D root note is going to be a whole step up on the A string.
Right.
What would be incorrect in breaking the rules at this point would be this: 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, 1, 3, 5. You know, that's too far away. Now there are ways to connect like that, but we're not there yet.
Right.
All right, so 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3. So I have to go either to this note on the 5th fret of the A string or open D. Either one are fine because of the same pitch. But I'm going to pick the 5th fret on the A string. Right, so now I do a triad on the D. So let me think. Well, okay, I'll do a section 2 left side position. But I'll do the inversion. 1, 5, 3, 5. So now I've got the two chords, and I piece it together like a puzzle. 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, 1, 5, 3, 5. Right? So now I want to go to the closest G, which is going to be the 3rd fret on the E string.
Right.
So now I'm going to do a center position, section 1. 1, 3, 5, 3, major. Right?
Right.
Now I'm going to do a section 3 inversion on the C major. 1, 5, 3, 5. Now I'm going to do a right side position, section 1 diminished for the F sharp minor 7 flat 5. 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3. And now I'm going to do a section 3 right side position for the B. 1, 3, 5, 3. Right side position E minor. 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3. And because I have 2 bars of E minor, I want the second E minor triad I want to do it differently. So in this case, I'll simply, now I could pick a different, section or position, but I'm just going to do the same one, but I'm going to do its inversion. Instead of going 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, second time I'm going to go 1, 5, flat 3, 5 to give it some variety.
Right.
So now I've got a line: 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 5, 1, 3, 1, 5, 3, 5, 1, flat 3, flat 5, flat 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, 1, 5, flat 3, 5.
Okay.
And let's see how it works with the track. 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 5, 1, flat 3, flat 5, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 3, 1, 5, flat 3, 5, 1. So I have a perfectly functional walking bass line, clearly outlining these chord changes. That if I played this just by myself, it would be very obvious to somebody who knows the song. Oh, he's playing Autumn Leaves.
Right. Okay.
All right? So if you come from this position of authority with your harmony, then when you start taking it out and implying stuff and doing the more vague or abstract ways of doing walking bass lines or adding different stuff to it, you're going to be coming from a very strong harmonic perspective. The mistake a lot of people make with their walking bass lines is they start trying to be too slick harmonically too soon. And
Right.
they end up not really outlining the chord sound very well. They're not fulfilling their job as, they're not doing their bass line job.